Welcome to Ladies of Another View on Back. I am Mary, and today I am joined with Emily and Lori.
Hello.
Hello. So it's we're leading right up to the 4th of July weekend, so pretty excited about that. Thus, the patriotic wear, right? The patriotic wear, red, white, and blue. That's how we roll up here. But we're going to have a big show today. Normally we start out with the Fufeng special report. That will be coming tomorrow. There's a lot of new information coming, but we're going to talk to Craig Spicer today. He is from Grand Forks, and he's been in the heat of this. He has land that abuts right next to this property in question for Fufeng. And then later in the show, we're going to talk a little bit more about the 4th of July and why we celebrate it. But let's get started. Let's introduce Craig Spicer to the show. Welcome to the show, Craig. All right, we're having a little bit of voice problems here.
Okay.
All right. Nope, I got you now. Okay. Sorry about that. Welcome to the show, Craig.
Right.
All right, so
Thank you.
we met you, gosh, it's been going on a couple, 2-3 months that we've been in contact with the citizens of Grand Forks. And a lot of them have been keeping us apprised as to what's going on with the Fufeng. As soon as we had heard about it, we knew that this was something that we wanted to cover. Why don't you kind of tell us, give us an update, what's going on in Grand Forks right now?
Well, right now there's a few things that have kind of hit the waves a little harder again. I'll just bring it back to when we hired a lawyer, assuming it's about a month ago, and he was out of Fargo, and he came to one of the city council meetings and proceeded to make some arguments with Dan Gostad, who's the city attorney, and I think he caused some frustration and some anger there. And after he left that meeting, and the next Monday, his building started on fire. And so luckily he was able to retrieve some of the stuff we were working on. And today we got the paperwork that we had him, and it's concerned with the annexation. And we actually filed the paperwork with the city today. And one of them is a complaint for injunctive relief. And the other one is a declaration for Mr. Dennis Cadillac. And the other one is a motion for temporary restraining order. So that paperwork was served this morning. And then about, I'd say about an hour ago, which would have been somewhere around 1 o'clock, we got a message from our, one of the girls that's been working very, very hard with is Judy Carlson. And I know you've interviewed her before. And she said that 2 detectives came to her door, and they interviewed her about some stuff that was on Facebook concerning the Constitution that she had put on there.
Well, that's interesting. I mean, have you spoken with Jody yourself then?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so what kind of questions did they ask her?
Well, here's what she started with. She started with, and I'll let you, I think it would be better if you interview her, Mary.
Sure.
She just started with the fact that about a year ago, something came up with Facebook, and she made some calls on it and reference to it. And they said that they were not connected to anything to do with Facebook or any of the social media stuff. And that was about a year ago. So that's how she started the conversation. But then she said 2 detectives knocked on her door, and then now all of a sudden they were concerned with what she had posted on Facebook, which was exactly, I don't know, I didn't have time to look into it, but it was something to do with how the Constitution works and what this Fufeng group is proposing.
Wow.
Interesting. So Craig, we know your why and why you're involved, but there's a lot of people who don't know what's going on and they're not involved. But maybe for our viewers, can you kind of tell us why you have skin in the game? Why are you so involved in fighting this?
Okay, I'm involved because Fufeng will be bordering my property. I'm a businessman from Grand Forks, and we're on what's called the North End Corridor on Highway 81. And that's kind of what started the ball rolling when I found out. I really didn't know much about this project. And I made a call into one of the talk radio shows and talked to what now I call a an airbag bully host on the radio channel. And I literally got kind of the third degree and was pretty much told to, if I didn't like it, to leave town. So that kind of got me fired up. And then from there, I proceeded to learn as much as I could about this topic, and just ended up so involved with it now that there's no turning back, and I'm trying to expose what I call is a conditioned setup by our city council.
All right. So, we were in town just the other night doing some different interviews and whatnot. But Lori and I ended up it was a different Lori. Lori Hintz and we ended up at the city commission meeting. And I understand that ended early. Why don't you tell us why the city commission meeting ended early?
Okay. I think through this whole thing, like you say, Mary, in the last 3 months, I think I've missed one meeting. So as that goes, I was at the last meeting, and at that meeting, we had guests from Western North Dakota, some from Devil's Lake, some from what's the other town? I just forgot. Anyway, they have a group called Sons of Liberty. They've been at one or two of our other meetings. Okay, so it was a working meeting for the council. So they really didn't have anything on the agenda for us to speak, but they have reluctantly let us speak most of the time because of this issue, and they know that they would look bad if they didn't. So as they went through the process of going through the agenda, I think there was only one or two items left on the agenda, and the fire alarm went off, and it was kind of startling, and everybody kind of sat there for a minute, and then they escorted us downstairs and outside. So we waited, and about 10 minutes later, couple of people came out, and the police came out, and we asked them what happened, and they alluded to the fact that there had been some kids in the building with their father, and that they said that one of the kids pulled the fire alarm. Well, my response is, that's a possibility. I'm not saying it's not. I mean, kids are kids. I'm great with that. I love kids, sure. But the way this thing was going down at the meeting, Dana Sandy wasn't there. He's the president of the city council. He's very, very arrogant, very pushy, very, he's the kind of a guy that just gets his own way, put it that way. Okay, because he was gone, Jeannie Mock was in charge of the meetings. She's the vice president typically. And she doesn't take that position very often. Okay, this is my response and my feelings about it. So somehow or another, I think that there's a possibility that this thing was controlled by them so that they would not have to answer to the 20 or 25 people that were in the audience that night.
Wow.
Yeah, it just keeps getting shadier and shadier with the lawyers, the law firm burning up, and after he brought all that evidence in, and now the FBI going to Jody Carlson's house, and now the fire smoke alarms. Are you seeing a lot more incidents of things like this besides those three named?
Well, the way it looks to me is they're running scared. And they are very scared, because when they started this project, they wanted to put it on the fast track, and they wanted to get this thing pushed in without anybody paying attention, anybody noticing. And we brought them to the table on so many issues now that I think they're running out of ways to shut us down. I'm hoping that's what I'm here for, and I'm grateful for all the support we've got from everybody. They keep saying that there's only a few interested people that are coming to the meetings that are putting this subject, out there, which is totally wrong. We had the 5,400 signatures on our petition. We have a Facebook that just exploded in a couple months of about 20-some hundred people. Everything they put out there, to me, is just to try to make us look bad and defeat us. And they've consistently tried to belittle us, embarrass us, and try everything they can to make us look like some kind of radicals that we're just out there, starting trouble. And that's not the way it is. We're here to protect our town. We're here to protect our state and our country.